Shalom, shalom, Israel. Barakatah Eloheinu. Baruch Hashem Haya. Baruch Hashem, he that causes to exist. Barakatah Eloheinu, he that causes to exist. All praises to the Most High, the Elohai of Yakuba, the Elohai of Abraham, the Elohai of Israel, the Elohai of Yitzhak. For your name is worthy to be praised, and let your name be magnified throughout the earth. All praises. Baruch Hashem. What's going on, Israel? I am going to redo the Isaiah 53 part 1 video because it came to my attention that there was no sound. There was no sound being told there. So I'm redoing this video, and we are just going to cover the Isaiah 53 verse 1, verse 2. We will cover the report, what it is, who gives it, and we will cover what the arm of the Most High is, who it was revealed to. We will also cover who is the tender plant and as a root, who is described as that, which is Israel. In both videos combined, after you watch both videos combined, you will come to the understanding that Isaiah 53, that Israel is the servant, and that out of this particular generation, there will be one raised up that will be anointed and that will die. And as of his death, before his breath was taken out of his body, he asked that his death and his blood atone for his for the sins of his generation. Okay, and that's in part 2 of the video. And part 1, we are just discussing verses 1 and 2. And part 2, we are doing verses 3 through 12 and discussing that. But I'm telling you now, it is Israel. Isaiah 53 is talking about Israel, and more specifically, Eleazar, son of Matthias, brother to Judas and Simeon Maccabees. And it was talking a prophecy about the Greeks when they came in, and about an anointed Messiah when the Greeks came into the land. And the person who was known as the abomination of desolation, Antiochus Epiphanes, set up the abomination of desolation in the holy places and sacrificed swine's flesh. Okay, that's all in the book of Maccabees. Now there are 4 books of Maccabees, not 2. They took out the last 2 because if they left them in, then you without a shadow of a doubt, you would know Isaiah 53 is talking about Eleazar and not the idol or the demagogue of the epistles. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we're gonna go and start first. Isaiah 53 and 1. Who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He hath no form or comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. Okay, so what is the report? So I teach in my ministry that the report is anything that comes from out of the prophet's mouth and out of the prophet's words, right? Again, we shall go to Deuteronomy 18 and 18 and look and see what it says. I will raise them up a prophet from among you, their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words into his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. Okay? Now, as always, we prove things based off of Deuteronomy 19 and 15, and that says, one witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall a matter be established. So, brothers and sisters, today I'm going to prove to you using 2 or 3 witnesses. Okay, that's that precepts. A precept is a law, statute, and a commandment. And we have a video on our YouTube page that goes into depth about what a precept is, proving what a precept is: a law, statute, commandment, or judgment from the Most High. Okay, so now let's go ahead and delve all into this. And we shall start in the book of Exodus, and we shall go to Exodus 23rd chapter, and we're going to read verse 1. Exodus 23 and 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. So right here we see that the word for report is shama. Shama means something heard, a sound, rumor, or an announcement. So thou shalt not raise a false announcement. Put not in thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. So right there is proof that a report is an announcement or something that is heard. Okay? All right? So Now let's go to Deuteronomy 2, the second chapter. We're going to read verse 25. The second witness is in Deuteronomy 25, second chapter 25. This day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee. So right here, the Most High is saying he's going to put the nations that hear the report, that hear the announcement of Israel and everything that they have done, they're going to be fearful, and they're going to have the dread, and they're going to be scared of Israel because of the announcement that precedes them. Okay, so second witness to show that the report is an announcement. Go to Numbers. We go to Numbers 14 and in chapter 14, verse 37. Even those men that did bring up the evil announcement upon the land died by the plague before the Lord. Okay? So they brought up an evil announcement on the land, and the Most High killed them. Right? That's the third witness, that the report is an announcement. Now, let's go to the book of Psalms. We're going to go to Psalms 22 and 31. So Psalms 22nd chapter, we're going to read verse 31. They shall come and shall declare his righteousness unto a people that shall be born, that he hath done this. Then we're going to go to Psalm 71. So as you can see, it's an announcement. The report is an announcement and the prophecies that the Most High said through his prophets. So the prophets, they got the prophecy and then they made the announcement, right? And the nations heard it, the people of Israel heard it, etc. So the report is an announcement that comes from the prophets. 71, and we're going to go 71 and 18. Now also, when I am old and gray-headed, O God, forsake me not until I have shown thy strength unto this generation and thy power to everyone that is come. Let's see here. Psalm 78, verses 3 through 6. Which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. Verifying proof that is the prophecies, the report is the prophecies from the prophets. Because who told them? Who told the fathers? Who told our forefathers that passed it down? Exactly. The report from Moses, the prophet. Then you had another prophet. Then you had Samuel, the prophet. You had Edo, the prophet. You had Deborah, the prophet. They all gave an announcement from the Most High to Israel and to the nations, right? Okay. So we're going to read down to verse 6. For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children. An announcement, the report. That the generation to come might know them, even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children. Okay? Now, so I think that is enough to prove that the report is an announcement and it comes from the prophet. Comes from the prophets, but there's way more than that, okay? There's way more than that. Now, what is the arm of the Lord? Because Isaiah 53, it says, verse 2, for he shall grow up before him as a tender plant and as a root out of dry ground. So, I'm sorry. We are about the armor. For whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? Okay, so that's what we're. So we're going to go to the armor of the Lord. So we're going to show that the armor of the Lord was revealed to Israel, the people. So go to Exodus chapter 15 and verse 16. Fear and dread shall fall upon them by the greatness of thine arm. Thou shalt be as still as a stone till thy people pass over. O Lord, till thy people pass over which thou hast purchased. The arm of the Lord is the miracles and the wonders and the punishments and the pestilence that the Most High puts out as punishment. Okay? We go further that. We're in the book of Exodus, chapter 15. We read verse 16. We're going to stay in Exodus and we're going to go to chapter 6 and read verse 6. Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. So there you go, stretched out arm, great judgments, etc. Now let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 34. Or hath God essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation by temptations, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes. So again, right here, the arm of the Lord. It was revealed to Israel in Egypt. And what was the arm of the Lord? It was signs and wonders, and by war, and a mighty hand. Stay in the book of Deuteronomy. We're going to go to chapter 6, verse 21. Then thou shalt say unto thy son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, and the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. Right? Still in the book of Deuteronomy, next chapter, chapter 7, verse 19. The great temptation which thy eyes saw, and the signs and wonders, and the mighty hand and stretched out arm, whereby the Lord thy God brought thee out. So shall the Lord thy God do unto all people of whom thou art afraid. So this is enough proof, but we can go on and on and on. Let's go to Psalms. I'll throw two more witnesses out there to make sure this matter is established. Psalms 98 and 1. So Psalms 98 and 1. A psalm. O sing unto the Lord a new song, for he hath done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm have gotten him the victory. So everything that we have seen is showing you that, that the arm of the Lord was revealed to Israel. Not only was it revealed to Israel, that the arm of the Lord is pestilences, is signs, is wonders, and it's everything that he has done to protect Israel, right? Okay, so we're still in the book of Psalms. We're going to go to Psalms 136, and we're going to read verse 12. With a strong hand and a stretched out arm, for his mercy endureth forever. Right? See what the prophet said. Let's see what Jeremiah said. Go to Jeremiah, 2nd chapter, verse 3. Israel was holiness unto the Lord, and the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, saith the Lord. And that's further proof that Israel is synonymous with the Most High. You touch Israel, you touching the Most High. You blaspheme the Most High, you blaspheme Israel. Same thing. They are synonymous because they are married and they are one flesh. All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 62, and verse 8. The Lord hath sown by his right hand, and by the arm of his strength. Surely I will no more give thy corn to be meat for thine enemies, and the sons of the stranger shall not drink thy wine for thee which thou hast labored. All right, and there's many, many more, okay? Many, many more. Many, many more there. Now, back to Isaiah 53. So as you can see, I have shown you what the report is and who speaks the report. The report is the prophecies from the prophets. I've shown you what the arm of the Lord is and who it was revealed. The arm of the Lord is the mighty signs, wonders, and miracles, and him saving Israel. And it was revealed to Israel in Egypt. Now let's go to verse 2, and it says that he shall grow up as a tender plant and as a root. So now we need to show something. We need 2 or 3 witnesses or more showing Israel is described as a plant or a vine, okay? And there are a plethora of verses that do this to describe Israel as a plant and as a vine. So let's go ahead and get into it. We shall go ahead and start now. So we will start at the beginning. So we will go to Psalms, and we will see what they say in Psalms, what Melech Dawood said in Psalms about Israel being a plant. So Psalms 44, and we're going to read verse 2. How thou didst drive out the heathen with thy hand, and plantest them. How thou didst afflict thy people, and cast them out. Right? So right here, the Most High said that he planted his people. So right here, he refers to Israel as a plant. So now we're going to go to Psalms 88. Psalms 80. Stay in the book of Psalms. 80th chapter, the 8th verse. Thou hast brought a vine out of Egypt, Thou hast cast out the heathen and planted it. We know the Most High brought Israel out of Egypt. We just read that, right? When we just said, we proved what his stretched out arm was and the arm of the Lord. So he's here, he says that he brought Israel out of Egypt and cast out the heathen, and he planted Israel. Okay? Staying in the same chapter, we're going to scroll down to verse 15. Psalms 80 and 15. And the vineyard which thy right hand hath planted, and the branch that thou madest strong for thyself. Interesting, right? Now, and I should have went to Exodus first, so we're going to go back to Exodus. That's why I should have started off. Exodus 15th chapter, verse 17. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in the sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. Now, let's go to the prophets and see what the prophets said about Israel being a plant or a vine. We're going to go with Jeremiah. We're going to go to the second chapter, and we're going to go to verse 21. Okay? Jeremiah's second chapter, verse 21. Yet I had planted thee a noble vine, holy, a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a scourge vine unto me? So the Most High says he planted you a holy and noble vine, but you turned into a scourge, right? So, staying in the book of Jeremiah, we're going to go down to chapter 32. We're going to read verse 41. Yea, I will rejoice over them to do them good, and I will plant them in this land, assuredly with my whole heart and with my whole soul. Again, Israel referred to as a plant. As a plant. Now let's go to Jeremiah, the 24th chapter. We're going to read verse 6. For I will set my eyes upon them for good, and I will bring them again to this land, and I will build them and not pull them down. And I will plant them and not pluck them up. Let's see what Isaiah had to say. Because Isaiah spoke about it too. Isaiah got some of this too. He refers to Israel as a plant. So Isaiah chapter 60, verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. And we're going to stay in Isaiah. We're going to go to the one chapter over to 61. We're going to read verse 3. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil for joy, for mourning, for the garment of praise, for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord. The planting of the Lord. The planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. Okay? And the last but not least, we shall go to Amos. Amos, the 9th chapter, and read verse 15. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith the Lord thy God. So see here, brothers and sisters, we have the Most High refers to Israel as a plant, as a vine, says that he will plant them in among the mountains, that he will plant them in their land, and figuratively, he references Israel as a plant and as a vine, a noble vine, a righteous vine. So you have to take these things in mind when you're reading this Isaiah 53rd chapter, okay? All right? Now, let's see here. What else do we have here on the list? Okay, so as you can see, these first two verses, the Most High is the report is what the prophet said, the prophecies that they prophesied unto the children of Israel, and the prophecies that they prophesied against the nations, and the prophets are the one that gave the reports that he is speaking about, and we covered the arm of the Lord. And then we covered verse 2, Israel as a plant, right? Now, when you get to Isaiah 53 is when he starts to stop talking about Israel and he starts talking about a specific man. Why? How do you know this? Because he goes and says he is despised and rejected of men. Amen. That man for man is Ish, a Ish of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid as if our faces from him. He was despised, not esteemed. Now, if you go to, like I said, our second video on part 2, we cover the rest of verses 3 through 12, and we prove that it was this man here, Eleazar Maccabee. Okay? And go and read what he did and what happened to him, or watch the video on part 2, and then you will be able to, without a shadow of a doubt, without any inkling of confusion, understand and know that Isaiah 53 is talking about Israel and is during the generation of the Maccabees, and how the Maccabees was anointed, and one son of Matthias Maccabees in particular fulfilled Isaiah 53, while Judas Maccabees and Simeon Maccabees fulfilled the other prophecies. Okay, so Israel, if you agree with the information or don't agree with the information, that's up to you. Pray to the Most High, fast so that He causes it to exist. Ask Him for it to deliver you with the discernment. Ask Him for discernment. Okay. Now, spread this out. Spread this video out to your your friends, other believers. If you found the information in here helpful, if you found the information in here to be factual and truthful, for we are called to worship the Most High in truth and knowledge, and that is truth and in knowledge, not just truth and not just knowledge, but both truth and knowledge. Okay, so go ahead and check out part 2, Isaiah 51, undeniable proof. Part 2, for the proof of Eleazar is fulfilled Isaiah 53. Okay, verses 3 through 12. All right, to the next video. The next video will be will be Psalms 110 on David, and how David got his enemies put up under his foot, and how the psalmist wrote about David, and how it was not David saying, speaking of prophecy of Christ, etc. Here on this ministry and on this channel, we are first attacking all the lies about Christ being in the Old Testament, while sprinkling in different lessons about Torah lessons, to satisfy the moral law. We focus on Torah and Torah, on mitzvot and halakha, more so than prophecies, and more so than who is Esau, etc. So we tend to focus on the Tanak and halakha and mitzvot. Until the next video, Baruch atah alachenu, Baruch Hashem, He that causes to exist. See you guys next video. Peace.